So I follow porn stars on Twitter, not to jack off to them or anything like that, but porn stars actually have a lot of insight into life because they've seen it from so many different angles, and so they have very interesting tweets. And this was an interesting tweet from a porn star. She goes, "Hey guys, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could you stop responding to my not safe for work 18 plus content with gifs of Little Rascals? Yeah, I know Little Rascals are cute and things, but it's a bunch of children on my feed, and it just feels wrong. Okay, thanks, bye." And I responded with, "This is the most reasonable request I've ever seen on social media. Guys, I know you're awkward. I know she's pretty. I know you've seen her do things that make you feel funny in the pants area, so you feel a little bit like a child yourself. Now is not the time to grab little Spanky by the hair and show him off to your friends. That's not what happens here. Okay? Just stop being inappropriate. You know, it's social media, but it's still media. So please, not safe for work content is not for the kids. Hi, this is Tattoo with Children. I'm Flavor Ray in seat A. Across from me is the Dread Pirate Benjamin, and across from both of us is our Chief Intelligence Officer, Mike Payne. Guys, it's a great rainy day in East Texas, and we're loving it.
Yeah. One of the things I love about you, Ray, is how diverse you are. You're probably the most diverse human that I've ever met in my life.
It's the product of a bunch of shit.
I mean, it really is unbelievable to have a deeply spiritual, religious conversation outside and then walk into, so how are we starting the podcast? Porn tweets.
It's how my mind works. It's just how my mind works.
All right. I mean, I think about the devil almost immediately. You know, I don't know. It's some of that childhood coming back. It's
I make it a point on all of my social media. If I'm going to follow God and Jesus, I also have to follow Satan and the Antichrist. I have to.
All right. I mean, yeah, and that's not what you're saying about the porn stars.
No.
And your point is well made. They have a very different perspective on life.
Look, how many philosophers do we have that are living today? We've got like comedians.
Right.
And we've got rappers.
Okay.
And we've got porn stars, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're not real articulate, but they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they might be very articulate. I've never listened. So
I mean, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. If you like, some of these porn star autobiographies are just fucking great.
Are there is there a do they have a podcast?
Yeah, there's several. There are many.
Okay, all right.
I can recommend some to you.
I mean, that's let's not do that.
We're not doing it now.
Today.
We're not doing it at this moment.
Right. Yeah, we'll maybe discuss it again at length. I think if you followed Tattooed with Children by now, you've picked up on the fact that we have no idea what we're doing. We are attempting to record our voices. I would say for posterity, but I think we're just attempting to record our voices.
Right now. I think we're just exercising in front of you. Have you ever seen a dude in a gym, you know, a paid gym, just working out in front of the mirror?
Right.
That's us right now. We're just working out in front of the mirror, trying to check our form, you know.
Yeah, It's more like calisthenics at this point. It's not like working out. It's like really we're just doing
aerobics.
Jumping jacks, you know, and we're trying to work our breath up.
Oh my God!
We're definitely not working any muscle groups or anything yet.
We're Jane Fonding on with podcasting right now.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. But you know, we don't have anything else going, so. Yeah, it's definitely still raining, and I have a mild headache. I don't think it's been brought on by anything but the change in weather. The humidity feels lower, the temperature feels lower, even though it's raining, which is strange. So I don't know. The pressure in my head just has flipped upside down, which probably means I need to drink some water. That would probably help me.
Ben has always had a problem with drinking tons of coffee, and he'll if you press him, he'll get a Dr. Pepper into him. But you say, hey, drink some water. It's like, water? Like pure water? Like Clear water?
Okay, look, I have changed my behavior in the last few months. I had a little bit of a scare. I had to go to the hospital, and we're very uncertain what the cause of the hospital visit was.
Right.
It could be my heart. It could be blood clots. They didn't find out anything. I could have had a stroke.
Right. They gave no
Yeah,
information.
they gave no information. And to be fair, I don't think they had any information. I think all indicators pointed to anxiety.
Doesn't this make you hate science and doctors just a little bit more than you did?
No, because I mean, yes, in the moment I did, but when I'm really thinking about it, I've done. I don't like data all that much, but I do understand sample size.
Right.
So, like, if I asked one person their opinion on, a food that is my favorite, it's very, very difficult for me to really believe what I'm hearing because it's only a sample size of one.
Right.
And I can't really do much with a sample size of one. I need at least 10.
Right. Yeah.
So, if we're going to talk about sushi and how many people like sushi, I have to know on 10 people, how many of them have tried it and how many of them like it.
How many people? Yeah. Yeah. So it's and I understand that medicine is an inexact science.
It is.
Because it runs up against death so often.
Right.
But at the same time, if a person comes to you with a cluster of symptoms that are fairly common,
Right.
and you have nothing to give him, you should keep studying. Like the scientist in me
Right.
is like, all right, I need you to come back in a week so I can run more tests because this is a mystery that we should solve for science.
Right.
Like so many times we like scientists like look at something and say, I don't know what this fuck that is, and you're like, all right, let's figure it out. And they're like, no,
Right.
doesn't. I don't.
I don't know. I think that probably has a lot to do with the kind of people they deal with, but also the kind of people we are. Because even as we're talking about science in this hospital visit and how I changed my habits to drink more water after
Right.
that, I'm also thinking about food right now. I really struggle with, for instance, one of the reasons I struggle with sushi
Mm-hmm.
is that we're not close enough to
The
the
ocean?
large bodies of water
Yeah.
where the things come from to make it.
Right.
And so I struggle with that. But as I was just sitting here thinking about it, and I know that's a weird way to take it. Why do we not have more deer restaurants here?
I don't know. Like deer is one of our main resources as far as natural resources here in East Texas.
Right.
And it's really hard to find a restaurant that will just serve you wild game.
Right. Like, why can't I just go get a deer sandwich?
Like if I want
Like,
a
that
deer,
would be delicious.
if I want a deer right now and make a deer sandwich, I could do it because my dad has a fucking freezer full of it because he shoots
Right.
like 3 a year.
Right, but I don't understand why there are no deer restaurants.
It makes sense if it would be, right?
Yeah.
Am I
mean,
wrong here, Mike? Is this data apparent out?
I'm like sitting here going through all the different reasons in my mind. It just seems like we've decided that certain types of animals are stuff that we can mass produce and farm and things like that. So you got
Is
cattle
that what
and stuff
is that
like
what it boils down to?
chickens.
Is it would be wild?
I think that he could be right. It was
If the FDA wouldn't allow us to have a restaurant
Yeah.
serving something that we shot and brought in?
like I don't know what the rules are for bringing in wild game and serving it to people. It's probably different than the rules because it's not FDA approved, right? Like
That's-
anything that comes into a restaurant has been inspected. Inspected in quotation marks.
Okay.
Because I've seen the inspections
Right.
and anybody on the street can do a better inspection than an actual FDA, USDA inspector.
Well, I was about to say, are those kind of the same inspections that we did on vapes?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Right.
We're on board.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Well, and the other half of it is, you don't have people. I imagine you can domesticate deer, right? But we don't have
can.
people, domesticating herds of deer and utilizing the land to keep that herd, and then
Well,
killing.
because deer like they have to run.
Right.
Yeah, but
They
if
could-
you, yeah. So if you had, that's the problem with the deer is that you couldn't domesticate them.
Yeah, I mean, like there are deer farms and things like that,
Right.
but you can't do it on a population of say 2,000,
Right.
which would you like to compete with the beef industry
Right.
because the land you would need is like a county.
Yeah.
So you can't I own this county and
Like,
all the
here's
deer in it belong to me.
The effort that you would need to do that would be like, well, I might as well just use a little bit less land and have herds of cattle.
Okay.
Exactly.
And
So we've
it's
worked
already
out.
the infrastructure.
So we've already worked out why there are no deer stores.
Well, I still think that you could we can buy deer jerky and we can buy wild game.
Yeah.
I'm curious as why no one in this area figures
Yeah.
that's a niche that's worth exploiting. Maybe because it's too plentiful.
See, but that's the thing. Like, so I don't eat sushi a lot, and I know the two of you do, but I don't eat sushi a lot.
Right.
But when I go to Seattle
Yeah.
or when I go to New Orleans,
Uh-huh.
I eat fish. Like,
Yeah.
I like that's what they do there. They fish, and so like I eat it. Like that's what I plan to do. Like
Yeah.
if I go to the coast, I plan to eat sushi.
Right.
But if I go to a forest, I do not plan to eat fish because it trips my mind up about how long it took the fish to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Where did it come from? How is it sourced? How many hands have handled this fish?
Yeah, like how many people touched my sushi roll before it got here?
Let me tell you something. The truth is, a lot.
Yeah, and
That's real.
right, and that's disturbing to me.
Yeah.
Like I just don't want to you think about licking someone's hand. Like it do y'all not think about this?
No,
I don't think about that
I
shit
don't think about
ever.
licking-
Okay.
Ever.
All right. Well, we're going to See?
Licking someone's hand.
Let me see what you taste like. Ah.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me look at this guy's fingers and see if they're lickable.
So I think we've just discovered from our last episode why it's so difficult to be honest. Because when you're honest and you say what you think,
We laugh
people
at you.
make fun of you.
I'm not making. Yes, I am. I'm making fun.
You're totally making fun of me. Okay,
Look
so
hilarious.
I guess I'm a little strange. I think about licking people's hands.
Okay.
I don't have a hand fetish and I don't have a licking fetish, but I do actually think about that sometimes, and I'm just like, human skin tastes weird anyway. And so why, if I'm not going to lick your hand, then
Right.
why would I eat the food that 22 people handled before it got to me? I would rather have one guy kills the cow, one guy sends the cow to me, one guy opens the package up, and then I eat it.
Oh God.
But with sushi, there's like 22 goddamn people.
Guys, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I've just been.
I'm pretty sure that the number of people involved in handling your beef
Right.
is at least as many people handling your sushi.
No, it's totally
It's
different.
not. It's not. There's much more people handling the sushi. Fish
Yeah.
in general.
Right.
I mean, are you talking about the beef that you're buying in the store or the
God.
beef that you're getting in a restaurant? Because
The one in the restaurant.
In a restaurant.
yeah,
Right.
in the
In
restaurant.
a restaurant, like on an average sushi restaurant, there's probably about 9 hands that have touched your fish. Oh God.
See, that just gives me
Oh.
anxiety.
This is okay. So I think that the brain logic
Oh, God.
involved here for
Okay.
me,
Right.
right?
Well, that's why you're here, because you don't think about licking people's hands.
It's the same exact brain logic I use when watching television shows. It's suspension of disbelief.
Okay,
Or
I'm
suspension of
I'm riding
belief,
with that. Yes.
Right? I put it out of my mind because if I did think about how many hands and what was on those hands and how many people, I don't know, whacked it before they touched my food
Right.
and didn't even care, I would starve.
I really do not believe that people are handling our foods in general. I believe in general that people try and do the best they can in most situations. And so hand washing safety, we have hand sanitizers now that kill 90% of germs. Like, it's as safe as it can be, you know. So when I see a person's hands, I don't assume that they went to the bathroom and now their hands are covered in their bathroom stuff. Assume they went to the bathroom, washed their hands, now their hands are as clean as God made them. You know, that's just how I get through the day. All right, we're going to go to the next segment because I almost died, guys. I nearly died. We're just going to have to...
Don't give a damn what they say. way, undeceivable, shit's unbelievable. You never ever guessed you'd hear this mix, it's inconceivable. Ouch, too hot, baby, back out of the kitchen. This is what you love and wanna for, so daddy put your bitch in. I'm a poisonous affliction with a fireball addiction, man. It burns like hell and tastes like hell.
All right, guys, we're back. Flavor Ray is not dead. This is the Dread Pirate Benjamin here with CIO Pain, and we're tattooed with children. You know, the funny thing about it is I've been wanting to talk about music for a few days, and I think, I don't know, I generally start my day with music, and I end my day with music, and that is far quicker than anything else. So I don't necessarily worry about what I'm going to eat when I get up. I don't necessarily worry about what I have eaten when I go to bed or what I'm going to eat. I literally start and end my day with music. And the quickest way to get my mood changed is music.
Okay.
So if you want to change my mood about something, then we gotta get into music. And I don't know, I've been fascinated recently because we're in a really interesting time in history, and I say that a lot, but one of the fascinating things right now is music is it's changing. It's shifting super fast. You know,
yeah, thanks to the internet.
Yeah.
It changes almost every 3 months. It's like a whole new thing.
Yeah, and like country music used to be country music.
Right.
But now country music is actually more rock and roll.
It's more like rock and roll, and it's getting closer and closer to rap.
Yeah, rock and roll you used to know what it is.
Right.
Now it's more pop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Rock and roll is pop.
When you talk about pop now, you almost are describing a foreign band that doesn't speak your language.
Yes.
Your native language.
I think K-pop is closer to American pop than K-pop.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
Right, exactly. And so like I don't know where to put anybody anymore. But I don't know. I just wanted to get you guys like what are y'all listening to right now?
It's the age of bending. Everything is being bent. That's the way I see it, you know. We can do things so much easier these days that it just makes it almost necessary in order to stand out, to blur the lines.
Honestly, I started listening like years ago. I started listening to like popular Mexican bands, like pop Mexican singers.
Okay.
And I found it fascinating that they were hearkening back to like the singer-songwriter era of the 90s.
Okay.
So it felt really comfortable, even though I didn't speak the language all that well. I memorized a bunch of the songs because they just stuck in my head.
Okay.
And for me, that's how music works. Like you say, you start your day with music. As soon as I open my eyes every day, a song is playing in my head. Like it's a different song every time.
Yeah.
But that song is playing, and it'll just play in my head for the next 3 or 4 hours. And over the course of the day, as things change, my little head song changes.
Right.
So I don't often like go and seek out the music that's playing in my head. It's just playing. And then when I get home, I'm playing music all the time, basically just to set my next, playlist in my head the next day.
Yeah.
And I found that a lot of music that I haven't been exposed to is speaking to me now, partially because I'm trying to avoid a lot of stuff that's on the radio. Like I used to do Sirius XM, and Sirius XM, of course, you can just select your genre, whatever it is. You can just select 80s, 60s. You can be R&B, soul, whatever. And I used to do that. Well, we got rid of the Sirius XM in favor of either Spotify or just the radio that's playing. And the radio that's playing to me is just it is so not what I want to hear.
Right.
It's like it's not that I have something against popular music now. Yeah. But I feel like it's I feel like it's for others. If that makes any sense.
Okay. Is it that it's for others, or is it the format?
It could be the format.
Because I
understand what you're saying with that.
Yeah, because one of the reasons Netflix works for me right now is it's a new format.
Right.
And one of the reasons I can't stand television is it has that old 4.5 minutes and then a commercial.
Right.
And you're just like,
which is
okay, guys.
completely annoying, by
Right.
the way.
I understand that this used to work, but it doesn't work anymore.
Right. Like, I do not enjoy it on the radio when they tell me it's a half hour of music, but this bitch won't stop talking. You know?
Right, in between every single song. And
Yeah.
And they keep talking until just before the first word of the song, and now you just missed out on the purity of that 1 minute long intro.
Right.
Because they wouldn't stop talking.
So Mike, what do you listen to music every day?
So I do. I consider myself to be rather eclectic in what I listen to. Basically, my Pandora right now has my Thumbprint station, and then it has about 4 other stations.
Okay.
Bad Romance Radio, based on Lady Gaga's song "Bad Romance."
Okay.
Pat Green. So there's my country station.
Okay.
And then Volbeat Radio, which is my hard rock. And then there's one more in there. I forget what it is off the top of my head, but it's another style. So I switch between those, and what I really find myself enjoying is what that leads me to that I didn't know about before. So a couple years back, an example of that was I was listening to a lot of Pat Green, but then I started liking Zac Brown Band. And when I liked Zac Brown Band, what started happening was I started getting Jimmy Buffett. And I started getting all the country blended with the island music. And
Yeah,
that
it started coming through.
and I really like that, because it's almost like a natural transition into something I didn't really know about or dig too deep in before.
I think one of the things that's happening today, which I really, really like, is that people are their own A&R rep now. So you can go out there, make a song, make an album, post it, give it to the world, and the world will actually get it without anybody filtering you to fit in with their label.
Right.
Like a lot of the people, first, I don't know why this didn't occur to me until just now, Lily Lewis, who is a fantastic friend of mine. Like she's literally the only sister that my mother didn't have.
Right.
She has just released an album called We Belong Together, and all of those tracks just would not make it on a regular label because it's like, which one is the song that's going to be the hit? You know, so what are the hits? It's like it's not an album of hits. It's an album of a generation. It's like, this is how we feel and this is how we go forward. Things like that.
Right.
And that sets me up. You know what I mean? It gets me going. It makes me feel alive. And the fact that I can get a whole album like that now really easily, where I couldn't get that shit ever before, is the most exciting thing about music to me today.
Do Liz and Lily, are they still playing together?
Liz doesn't play anymore.
Okay.
She's a professor working at a university. Lily, she's got a new band. Originally, they were a part of a band called The Shiz, and it was a 4-man band made of 4 most outstanding human beings you ever want to meet, based out of New Orleans. Now her band is LOP, Lily Lewis Project, and they are fantastic. And I've heard them several times live, and they have some albums out that anybody should pick up. They're all on Spotify, or you can go there and check that out.
What do you listen to every day?
Who, me?
Yeah.
The things I listen to every day, I do go to my old school rap. UGK is on big rotation right now because Bun B out of Houston doing some great things. My best friend took a picture with him recently because he just released this new Astros hat, which is dope. And as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, man, I'm going to be playing Riding Dirty for the next 6 months. You know,
Okay.
I've been listening to Ghetto Boys recently. There's like old school rap for some. It's because of what pops in my head. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I feel about the world right now? It's like my mind's playing tricks on me. You know.
Right.
You know, how do I feel about my job days? I got a pocket full of stones.
Right.
You know.
And so Mike seems like he's more alternating between a bunch of different styles. Are you doing that too, or are you staying more on one genre per day?
No, I fly between styles very quickly.
Okay.
Like I fly, like sometimes it'll be rap, and sometimes it'll be Willie Nelson.
Okay.
You know, like I'm a huge fucking Willie Nelson fan.
By the way, have you heard Willie Nelson? Have you heard his cover of "The Scientist" by Coldplay?
Yes,
That's one of the most excellent covers I've ever heard.
dude, I'm telling you, man. Like I don't know how he's getting better as he gets older.
Right.
Maybe it's the weed.
It's probably the weed.
It could be the weed. I don't know, but it's a great fucking cover. I was looking for one of my favorite things to do is to build. I mean, they're called playlists now, but you know, back in the day, you made a tape for somebody.
Mixtapes.
Yeah, you made a mixtape. You know, you put a bunch of songs together, and one of my favorite things to do is to try to put together 4 to 6 songs that are really encapsulating how I feel today. And the fun thing about that is that now you have Bandcamp and you have SoundCloud and you have YouTube
Right.
and you have Spotify and you have all these things. And so you can really build a pretty interesting playlist, but it helps me go down wormholes. Like it fills that need for me to, I guess, create, if you will.
Yeah.
And so like I'll spend a little bit of every day just building a playlist.
Yeah.
Right? And like and sometimes it starts off hard, sometimes it starts off soft, sometimes like today it started off with Iron and Wine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it progressively built until it was in more of like a I don't know how you would describe them, but I would say you know, more of an upbeat, what I would describe as upbeat, maybe upbeat jazz.
Okay.
So it went from folk, you know, and it kind of made its way through that depressive state to that slow, mournful, everything sucks.
Right.
And then it built into like, okay, hey, we're introspective here, Ben's introspective here, you know, and then into more of a, okay, all right, there's a beat to this, I'm moving along, I can feel this, and then by the end of it, it was like this soulful, like super jazzy, almost, I guess the way people would describe new wave, if that were a thing.
Yeah, I never understood what new wave was. I'll be honest with you. Like I never got the new wave concept. But that happened to me with a lot of art, with a lot of genres.
Mike, can you tell us
Like-
what new wave is?
So, I mean, the best way to explain something is by example. So, I mean, new wave hit in the '80s. So you had artists like, well, Duran Duran, and it really came from across the pond, as it were. You know, kind of a mix between pop and electronic. Is how I describe new wave. But as far as like a Wikipedia style definition, let's see what they say.
You know what?
I just pulled up Google, and the first thing that popped into my feed is a gigantic asteroid collision 470 million years ago caused the Earth to freeze over. See, this is why I don't believe in adults.
This is exactly
Because
why.
whoever pushed the button on that, right?
All right.
Somebody ought to beat them. Somebody ought to beat their ass right now for
How did
being
they
able
get
to
away
push.
with that?
Right.
How did they get away with that shit?
And it's not that you say, well, everything's free. Anyway, we're going to go back to music. Okay.
So new wave is a pop rock style from the late '70s and '80s, with ties to '70s punk rock. Is what they say. Differs from other movements with ties to first wave punk as it displays characteristics common to pop music rather than the more artsy post-punk.
Give me some examples of the bands, the new wave bands.
So
Because now, like that was so imprecise and bullshitty
it is.
that it makes my stomach hurt just the fact that it exists.
It's because a white person wrote it.
So let's see. The Human League, Eurythmics, Dead or Alive, Depeche Mode, Soft Cell, Aha.
Like I don't know. Like to me, that is just '80s center of the road '80s music.
Yeah. See,
And '80s popular music.
Well, that was the essence of '80s pop was new wave.
It was
Entire
it was
style.
the entire style of the '80s was new wave, apparently.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, I like the Eurythmics.
no, the
I
rhythms
like
are
the
awesome.
Depeche Mode's pretty great too.
Like
love
one of the
Depeche Mode.
one of the things
You don't?
I do. I
Oh,
absolutely
okay,
love
all
Depeche
right.
Mode.
I was gonna say we might have to stop this podcast.
one of the great things that Ben find, like she says like he rabbit holes when he makes his playlist. He like hit me with this on a text message. He's like, yeah, listen to these guys. They're called Gangsta Grass, and it's bluegrass rap.
Oh yeah, I hit everybody with that, dude. I think I texted that everybody in my book.
And you think that those things wouldn't go together, man? Like that, I heard it the first time. I said, "This is exactly how I walk down the street."
Yeah. No, it's exactly how I breathe in and out.
Yes.
Like it's fucking banjo, right? And then you get past that first banjo song, right?
Yeah.
And then you just got that deep bass voice coming in, talking, just soothing your soul, just like, and you just feel
And the rhythm,
better.
the
You
rhythm,
just-
the rhythm.
It's like that train hitting.
Yeah.
You know, you're standing beside the train tracks, train going by, and that clickety clack, and you just feel it, and it just like you start swaying back and forth. You just move.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a head bob until your neck knew it was fat. All right, we're gonna go on to the next
The
thing.
name of my team supreme. They biting now, so I'm tossing out teaser rings. You said you wanted bling, flossing ain't what you mean. You got baby teeth, so they pulling wisdom from me. Get neutered, respect the shooter of medulla. Give an inch, I'll take 5,280 rulers. Royalty around me and mine, we
All right, guys, we're back from our break. We've had to take a lot of breaks today. I don't know if it's just the rain or what, but
I
I'm
think
just,
it's the rain.
Yeah, I'm just feeling kind of like I need a nap.
Yeah.
Like could I take a nap? Like I don't know.
The
But
answer's no, you can't.
Yeah, no, I can't. So in the other room right now, Katie and David are actually working. They're two of the artists here at Black Spot Tattoo Company. And I walked in there a minute ago, and Katie was doing this dope ankle piece. It's like in the shape of a moon, but it's just flowers and like leaves and things of that nature. But it's just so fucking clean, man. It's just straight like brilliant. And it reminded me, I had a conversation this weekend because the NFL just started. How bad are professional sports players
Tattoos?
and tattoos?
They're awful.
I mean, like, and it doesn't matter which sport you pick.
And it feels like the more money, the bigger their contract, the worse their fucking tattoos.
Now, is that because tattoo artists in general are known as grifters or act like grifters? So they're like, hey, $15,000 and I'll do half a sleeve.
I think that's definitely part of it to a certain extent. Like, I've never met a tattoo artist that I'm like, hey, man, you're great. And he's like, yeah, I am. I meet a tattoo artist say, hey, man, you're great. He's like, I'm a piece of shit. You know, I'm the thing that I'm doing is worthless. You know, all of this is making the world worse. You know, that's how tattoo artists are.
I don't hold to that. But then again, I don't hold to that in any aspect of life.
Yeah, I would say that's just not you.
Yeah, like I mean, So the thing that bothers me is like I watch football or I watch basketball or occasionally like the World Series, I'll put baseball on. And every time I turn it on, I'm like, where are the thugs at?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for instance, this last Monday night, I got to see the highlights. OBJ making that one-handed catch.
That's Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh God, he made that one-handed catch that he practiced in the pregame. Practiced it. That was the whole clip. He practiced it in the pregame.
Yeah.
And then like 3 minutes into the game, same exact catch, 49 yards, some shit like that.
Yeah, it was
okay.
some stupid.
And the only thing I can think watching the highlight 97 times, you know, because they're just like slow-mo in his one arm.
There wasn't much else in that game to slow-mo, so.
Okay, but is how bad the tattoos are, man.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
Like they're so bad. And it's not because he works out.
No.
It's because literally This is one of my pet peeves about tattoos, guys. Look, I understand that you want what you want, and I think it is as an American citizen, as a citizen of some other country, as a citizen of the world, you ought to be able to have the right to get what you want, okay?
Yep.
But here's the thing. If it looks good to you from the distance you're at, I just want you to know it's going to look like shit from 10 feet.
Right.
And 10 feet is where you spend most of your life from
Most
people.
of your life is going to be about a 10-foot range.
Right. And so, for most of your life, you're going to look like dog shit.
Right.
Now, if you want your preacher to climb up in bed with you every night and admire your tattoos.
And just look at your tattoos
Yeah,
and goes, wow, that's
that's
good stuff.
That's your goddamn business. And I fully respect your right to think that way. But from my perspective, I always wanted to look like a badass. That was like I wanted to be one of the cool kids, right?
I think part of it, Ben, now that I think about it, is athletes, when they go in to do anything, one, they're never going in alone. You know, they're always going in with like 20 people with them.
Right. So they got peer pressure.
Right. And they're going in there to get something very specific that they have in their mind. And they are very determined, very stubborn, very goal-oriented people in general.
Okay.
And so an artist trying to work against that to make his art better on his arm is going to immediately realize he can't win this fight.
Okay.
You know, it's like the only thing I can do is what he says
Yeah.
in order to get this client. Now, I can tell him to go fuck himself,
Right.
but then everyone's going to know that I told Odell Beckham Jr. to go fuck himself. You know, so
Okay,
it's
but
better
but
to
here-
be...
but-
I think that's the better solution to anything, honestly.
See, that's
Well,
the problem.
I agree.
Yeah, but okay. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this down in the universe then, because
All right.
I started a tattoo shop in 2014, Black Spot Tattoo Company. We do not use tattoo machines. Okay, and I don't
Yeah.
really want to get into all the nuance of that right now, but safe to say we hand poke, or stick and poke, or we dot work. We literally take the needle, we attach it to a stick or piece of wood, and we jab it into your skin repeatedly until we have the desired outcome.
Correct.
This is an older method of tattooing that's been around for a very long time.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Ever since I started this place, and I don't know, I'm going to take a selfish moment and put this into the universe. Ever since I started this place, I kind of had one idea in the back of my mind of something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, my idea originally before he got super famous was like J.J. Watt.
Right.
Okay, but let's just go with a linebacker for now. Let's just air quote linebacker.
Sure.
I want to sleeve out a linebacker
Uh-huh.
in my style, my way, hand poked, okay?
Right.
To where next season, when that quarterback looks across the line
And sees that arm.
and sees that arm, I want him to call timeout because of those tattoos.
Right.
I want him to look across at that middle linebacker and go, what the actual fuck? They did not tell me about this. Timeout.
Right. All right. Say, guys, who we got blocking JJ?
Right. They did not tell me this guy went to the middle of the woods and met some fucking whack-ass shaman, got Jesus or the devil on him. Sorry, Mike. I got too excited.
You are getting pretty excited.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to back off the mic a little bit. But I'm just going to put that in the universe. I'm going to do that one day. That's one of my life goals. And
Some people want to own sports teams, and
right.
Ben was just tattooed
Yeah,
their art.
no. I just want that one moment. I just want to hear that story from that linebacker when he gets back and he goes, Ben, did you watch Monday Night Football last year? And I'll be like, no, man, what happened? And he's going to be like, you got to turn it on. Look, I got a tape for you right here. We're going to play it. It's on YouTube. It's going to be there forever. Like, you can see the moment he pisses himself. You can see the moment he sees my tattoo. Because that's the thing. To me, you know, one of the things I read about tattoos when I was first beginning to realize that what a lifetime commitment it was going to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I read that in ancient cultures there were so many different reasons for getting tattoos.
Right.
But one of them was what role you play in society.
Right.
So if you were the gardener, you had one tattoo.
Right.
If you were a hunter, gatherer, you had another tattoo.
Uh-huh.
If you were a midwife, let's say, you know, someone who delivered babies and kept small babies alive, you had a different set of tattoos. And so in these ancient or first cultures, it was very important to them that they be able to pick out from your ink, from your marks.
What you were, who
what-
you were,
what-
how you were.
Yes, and that to me has always, it's always, I think it's held a place in my heart for hope. And one of the reasons, and I'm going to jump real quick, and I'm sorry guys, this is going to be an episode all about Benjamin. The thing,
It's all about the Benjamins.
the thing about this is, I've had a hypothesis for years. Like, I don't understand these school shootings. And one of the reasons is because I've never understood security companies.
Uh-huh.
You go to these security companies, right? What
Yeah.
do you meet? The biggest, fattest, out of shape, dumbest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, I understand I don't live in a big city. I understand that I'm not talking about the Bank of New York or some shit.
Right.
Okay? But seriously, when you go to Dallas
Yeah.
and you meet a night watchman,
Yeah.
is he in shape?
I mean, it's mall security.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Right,
not.
right.
And what I'm saying
We have an
is,
entire subculture built around the idea that rent-a-cop is really not a good term at all.
Is not a good way to go.
so why are the kids getting shot up? Well, the kids are getting shot up because they ain't even got rent-a-cops there.
Right.
And so what's changing is we're saying, well, we should arm teachers, or we should do this or that. Okay,
Have a police force inside the school.
Sure, Jesus Christ. Okay, what if we did this? What if we had a security system, a security company
Mm-hmm.
that employed heavily trained,
Mm-hmm.
heavily tattooed individuals
Mm-hmm.
that were not allowed to do anything but security? You talk to a kid, you get fired.
Right.
Because your job is not to speak to the children. Your job is quite frankly, is scared of the children.
So just scared. It's like having a scarecrow.
Exactly. You should scare the motherfucking children. They should not want to talk to you. You should look scary. Why? Because if that's the way I always felt about the Marine Corps.
Right.
When you're 15 years old, you see that guy in the mall, you don't walk up and go, "What's up, bro?"
No, that'd be a mistake.
No, you walk on the other side of the mall and go like, "Hey dad, what is that?"
Well, that's
Who
a
is
killer,
that guy?
son.
Right, and that's what any good parent tells their kid.
Exactly.
So what I don't understand is, why don't we tattoo up some warriors and post them out there and go, "Okay, try us now, bitch."
I mean, I think that's definitely a way to go. I mean, that's definitely something that can be, and the reason why, because it's educational. You know, it's like, guys, when you go out into the world, if you see these marks, that guy probably earned them. You know,
Right.
it's like these marks over here are for decoration.
Right.
These marks over here are for because some people think that they're tribal. They have a tribe. These marks over here, that's just barbed wire.
Right.
And these marks
Right,
is that guy in your school that was that scary dude.
right.
So you don't mess with these marks. And I think it's important that we start, if you were to do something like that, that you elevate the aspect of the person who put those marks on. In other words, you don't go to every random tattoo artist to put those marks on. It's that the guy to put this marks on is an important guy.
We've spent the last, I don't know how many decades, telling people you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, right?
Right.
Which I agree with, right? But the problem with it, from my standpoint, is that we've never closed the other end of that. So now,
Okay.
because you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, nobody knows who the hell they are or what they want to be.
Right.
Okay? So you gotta close the other end of it. You gotta say, yeah, you can be whoever you want, you can do whatever you want, but you have to decide. And it's a huge problem in the world today.
Well, it is a huge problem. Again, honesty, communication, but then there's the other side of it, which we're jumping straight into the deep end. But tell me why now we have Marines that look like CPAs, and we have CPAs that look like bodybuilders,
Right.
and we have couch potatoes that look like security guards, and we have security guards that look like, I don't know, like they're on the WWE. Like, I mean, in other words, that's what Mike's saying. It's all over the place. Now, part of that is the fact that we have written into our DNA to look at things from the outside perspective.
Right.
In other words, we look and we make a judgment.
Right.
But I hear what Mike's saying, and I think if I were to interpret it, I have closed the other end for me. So you can't see me on this podcast. I have a crow tattooed on my neck, and from there I have tattoos all the way to the tops of my feet.
Right.
I have not tattooed the bottoms of my feet yet, but
That's gonna hurt.
yeah, that's not gonna feel good. But I'm running out of room, so I'm gonna get there. But the thing about it is, I know currently, right now, and I knew 5 years ago when I started this journey, to get this tattooed,
Yeah.
that means I can be a tattoo artist, I can be a mechanic, I can be a chef, I can be an entrepreneur, or I can be a killer.
Right.
There's only 5. In other words, I knew at 35 years old,
He was sealing off his options.
I was sealing off my options.
You were choosing a direction and a focus.
And
Yeah.
I remember when this happened. Like me and Ben had just long discussions about it, because it was like, all right, are you ready to kill your past self?
Right.
You know, that was the question. It's like this is literally cutting off the old Ben, and he's not coming back.
Right.
And Ben wasn't sure.
No, I wasn't.
He wasn't sure at all.
No. But now I know they shouldn't let me into that boardroom
Right.
because I don't wear pants. Like I wear pirate pants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't let me into that boardroom because my right hand is tattooed red.
Yeah.
And there's a hand grenade on top of it that says, "This is from Matilda."
Children, these marks are that scary guy at your school.
Yeah, you don't let him into the boardroom.
Yeah.
No, there's no day. There are good people for that, by the way.
Yes.
And I'm very good for other things.
Yes.
But the boardroom is probably not one of them. I don't know, maybe the next 100 years. You know,
yeah, I would say that. I would say that. Like, I think it's going to get there eventually where, honestly, the most professional people, the president is going to have his fucking face tattooed. That's going to happen.
I think you can change perspective over time, but if you live forever never really deciding on who and what you are for yourself, then you don't have the stable ground to be able to effectively make that change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that runs into the fact that, you know, when we choose, everyone thinks we're choosing forever. Like any forever choice means 100 days in a row, 1,000 days in a row,
Right.
10,000 days in a row. Any choice at all means, guys, it's not forever, but I don't know. I think you're hitting on something, Mike.
So
that
we're very close to a deeper meaning here.
Yeah, it's not society. It's not social media that's changing us. It's the fact that we quit saying, "I want to be a mechanic, and I'm willing to give up everything else to get that."
To be the mechanic. And like, I want to be a plumber. And when I say I want to be a plumber, I don't mean I want to fix toilets. I mean that I want to run the sewer for a city.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that dream happen. Like, we stop letting our people dream their own dreams.
And
You know-
and it turned into somehow you can dream all the dreams.
Right. It's as long as you don't pick an option, all the options are open. Like, that was the
That's
dumb shit that
exactly
we
it.
said.
As long as you don't pick an option, you always have options, and therefore, everyone's afraid to make a decision.
All right. On that note, guys, we're definitely going to take a smoke break. This is Tattoo with Children. You can find us on IG at Tattoo with Children. You can find us on Twitter at Tattooed With, because Jack never decided what he want to do with his fucking life, so fuck him. We're going to be on Ben Harbuck is going to be on Black Spot Tattoo Company, yes, but Black Crow Brother is what I'm trying to say. CIO Payne is going to be at CIO Payne on IG, and I am Madara Shadow on IG and Hunter Vanguard, all one word, on Twitter. All right, guys?
Peace out.
We like that.
Later.
Love you.
floor, so take it. Travel to the door is a normal placement. Tattoos on my arm in a form of